G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a mop. Get a load of this. There is actually a little tea tree. Quite a nice little tea tree hiding underneath this. But this is our spring growth. Huge big long extensions on these tea trees. Just going nuts at the moment. So basically same as the last tea tree I did. Just going to trim these all back nice and short. Have a look at what's inside, see if we need to do any wiring. I don't think there's any of these big long branches that I want to leave. Basically just want to bring it all back to the original pads. Just keep promoting that division, which will make our little pads even denser and denser. It is currently flowering at the moment, little white flowers. Probably going to chop some buds off. Probably. It's still covered in flower buds. Might not lose too many. See how we go. Anyway, throw some tunes on and whack all these long bits back nice and short, and then we'll see what we got. That's probably nearly all we need to do with this tree. Some of these extensions are getting way too big. I'll get a load of this. This would have only grown in the last probably month maybe. Just big long straight branches, and the trouble is they get thicker and thicker, and they're growing from these outer parts that you want thin branches. So I probably should have been through this a few weeks ago and tidied a few up, and I'll probably have to do it again in another few weeks just to keep that growth under control. You know, again, that's a fair bit of growth off a tiny little tree, but that's what these things will do. They do love to grow. So I think that's about it. This little tiny branch here, normally you just cut that off because it's on the front, and it'll just obscure the bark and the trunk line that you want to, ideally you want to see that on a bonsai. But I reckon I might leave it. I might let it just grow, and it might make an interesting bit of deadwood in the future, just sticking out the front a little bit, maybe bent off to one side or something. That's the only reason I reckon I'll leave that there. I'll let it grow. Everything else probably doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it has been flowering. It's got other buds about to open up. It's a shame it doesn't just all flower at once. It'd probably look pretty cool. They're only white flowers. I'm not a huge fan of white flowers, but most of my trees seem to have white flowers, which is a bit sucky, but it's the way it is. It'll still look pretty cool in flower. Another one of my little tea trees that I do like. Starting to come along. I think it's starting to find its form, I suppose. Yeah, I don't feel like I want to change it too much. So yeah, you can probably see it back in another month or so. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.